right now we're all writing and going through a story in motion. All of us, both collectively and individually. And the story that we're both writing and going through, living through as time progresses, is the story of the transit of Jupiter in Pisces. Bear in mind that on May 13th, 2021, Jupiter stepped into Pisces. It officially entered the sign for the very first time. Then it continued traveling direct until July 28th, 2021, when Jupiter retrograded back into the sign of Aquarius. Then on December 28th, 2021, Jupiter re-entered the sign of Pisces. And it traveled through that sign until May 10th, 2022, when Jupiter entered Aries. And that was also the same day that Mercury decided to go retrograde. And that was a doozy. For the first half of it, Mercury retrograde, it's all about reflecting, going back over things, thinking through things, checking everything twice, etc. And Jupiter in Aries is about initiation, taking action, going after something that you need or want, and really having a lot of excitement and enthusiasm. So that was May 10th. And then on July 28th, 2022, Jupiter stationed and started to go retrograde in Aries. And here we are. Jupiter, if you're watching this video, in the year 2022 or 2023, or beyond that point, even, Jupiter is going to re-enter Pisces on October 28th, 2022. It's going to do this. Excuse me. It's going to do this at 12:11 a.m. Central Time. And, wait, did I say that correctly? Okay, so it's going to do this at 12:11 a.m. Central Time and 1:11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is going to be the last time, the last section, the last chapter, the last phase of Jupiter in Pisces, where things can get resolved, especially with the retrograde energy, which is all about redoing things, reevaluating. With Mars retrograde, it deals with, because I was watching the astrologer YouTube channel, Astrology with Heather, and she was had a video. She has a video on Mars retrograde in Gemini, which is going to be coming up only 2 days after Jupiter re-enters Pisces. And she was saying relaunching or reinitiating goals and ambitions and plans that have been started in the past, not brand new things. So, I have a Facebook post about that, and I may link to it below, or put it as a, what do you call it? What are those things called? Cards, video cards? Anyway. All right. So this is going to be the last time. So October 28th, 2022, Jupiter is going to re-enter Pisces. And this is going to really be a wrapping up, a tying up of loose ends. One last final chance to feel and experience and to live those energies, that energy. You know, all that can be expressed by Jupiter in Pisces, both retrograde and direct. And then Jupiter is going to station and start going direct on November 23rd, 2022 at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 1 p.m. Central Time. Then, on December 20th, 2022, Jupiter will exit Pisces. I realize that I've been saying the month, day, and year. I didn't really feel like I need to do that. So, yeah, but you get it. December 20th, Jupiter exits Pisces and then moves into Aries. And this is going to be at 7:23 a.m. Central Time, 8:23 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, themes having to do with Jupiter in the sign of Pisces. Remember, Jupiter is the planet of excitement, enthusiasm. I used those words already, I believe. It deals with expansion of the mind and, maybe of the body as well. And it really has to do with joy, indulgence, and really taking the most advantage of this life as you can. It also deals with growth and optimism and possibility and travel and going beyond what you already know. It deals with, adventures and feeling very lucky on those adventures. It deals with higher education as well. So those are all the, terms for Jupiter as the planet. And so when Jupiter is going to be moving into Pisces, starting from October 28th through December 20th, we're really going to be engaging with this energy in very powerful and very hopefully uplifting and strong ways. So, I could, make a kind of a piece about that kind of statement, like, make a profound statement. But, anyway, so yeah, Jupiter's going to be in Pisces. And so let's explore what this is going to be about. So the first thing is creativity. This is not only artistic, music, listening to music, and really being in a state of peace and presence to surrender and accept what is in this moment and to sit and just let your mind drift away, wonder, while you're listening to music. The music that you like, that you enjoy. Because it's very, ethereal and it's, a higher, state of being, higher frequency. To really sit down and listen to music. Could it be an altered state? Well, anyway. So creativity, this could also be painting, writing, both fiction and nonfiction. Really, really using your mind and imagining new things. And so evaluating and, reevaluating what you have to be grateful for is another thing. Really counting your blessings. And, being in, that energy of warm, positive, peaceful content, and a happy feeling of abundance. And really trusting your intuition for what is right for you. Not, solely only on the logical mind, but also just, inside of yourself. Knowing what path to go down. Is this really the right place, job, person, situation that I should be heading towards and having this encounter with? And, though those are really things to consider during this time. And so, Jupiter is the ancient ruler of Pisces. Jupiter used to rule Pisces, and I'd like to think that it still does, but now Pisces is, ruled by Neptune as the modern ruler of the sign. And so one spirit can expand. Anything is possible with Jupiter in Pisces. Because Pisces is, about higher dimensions, higher power, higher force that created all beings, all divine beings. And they were all connected in a very divine way to every person, every place, everything. There's a oneness here. There's not separation, not by ego, not by title, not by, class, skin color, ethnicity, all those things. And, really we're all one. And that is really the truth. And so, surrender and acceptance, not banging on a door that won't open. Just, sit down and, stop fighting something, that can happen if it's a regret from the past that, just keeps coming up and you feel that so deeply, intensely. And it's really making you feel very down. You can't go back and change that. Or, if you can change and affect the circumstances in the present moment, then by goodness do it. But, gratitude comes into the picture and goes with the surrender and acceptance piece as well. And there's really, peace. You feel at peace when you tap into the energy of surrender and acceptance, tapping into flow, just sort of going through your day, again, trusting your intuition. And so, another theme with this is, relaxation, as I said, and, really, before making this video, I just did a meditation. And so that meditation is, it's very, a very good tip and, a wonderful practice to get in the hang of and get in the groove of and really, make a habit. And, whenever you feel like it, whenever you called or need to, get grounded, come into a conscious connection with your higher power or whatever the reason or reasons are for you meditating. And so, really makes you feel more grounded, more present, more stable, and more relaxed as well. So, and, Jupiter in Pisces also points to empathy and compassion and really being sensitive to energies. to the energies, in the room and the vibrations of other people and, what you're surrounding yourselves with. There's all kinds of sensitivity to all things, so many things. So make sure that you are really putting yourself in an environment that is very nourishing to your soul and satisfying. If I didn't say that word before, and it is very cleansing, where you can allow yourself time to replenish when you get burned out. And it's not about pushing and overworking yourself. It's really about taking the break. There's a acronym called HALT, and I believe it stands for, hungry, angry, I forget the L, and then tired. So yeah, take a break, do self-care, meditate, journal, pull oracle cards is another practice to get, messages from spirit, and to add meaning and, give you guidance as you're going through your days. Or, however often you pull oracle cards. Getting out in nature is another wonderful practice to do at this time, even, in the fall, things are getting colder in the northern hemisphere. And so, who are the people that drain you emotionally, psychologically, mentally, spiritually? And who are the people that uplift you, bring you peace, give you, support, and make you feel down to earth? And another thing is sitting with people in their, pain or sorrow or grief or depression or happiness, or really, being there emotionally and holding space for that, and, listening and feeling and being there and nurturing and caring for them and loving them. Because, Pisces really points to the highest form of love, and Venus, the planet of love, is exalted in this sign. So, forgiveness is also wonderful, service, being selfless, and, but not a martyr or a victim, but really, just giving, from your heart and from a place of, purity and humility and, kindness and generosity and, because we're all here and meant to be of service in some way. So, before you judge and, separate yourself from another person, don't do that, and do the opposite. Connect with them and, be open-hearted and open-minded towards them as well. And, hold space for people and what they're going through. And, so many different things involving relationships. And, support those, give to those. I think of, it's a wonderful time for, connecting with family and, really getting spiritual and, all those wonderful things. So, that is really my video on Jupiter in Pisces. Thank you for watching.